After a long time of waiting, Digimon Survive is finally available. The game promises a unique spin on the franchise by reinterpreting its lore into a fascinating mix of visual novel and tactical RPG. This niche combo may not please everybody, but its core offers a compelling Digimon experience. Digimon Survive tells the story of a group of teenagers who end up in another world after mysterious events. What was supposed to be a peaceful run-of-the-mill summer camp becomes a messy and dangerous trip. There's no guarantee for basic survival, as the place has multiple monsters running amok, and they have no idea how to go back. These kids find a world of beasts spoken of in legends, the Kemonogami, which players will recognize as Digimon. There's no clear digital or electronic association to be made here, making the area and creatures seem closer to the stories of yokai than anything else. The legends also speak of human children used as sacrifices, an omen of the ill fate that may easily befall them. The player will assume the role of Takuma Momozuka, a 14-year-old kid who is as average as they come. Despite his lack of noteworthy features, he's a reliable person who can act calm and collected in the face of this dire crisis. As a result, the others often seek his perspective, leading to various moments in which his choices are essential and will impact the route development and ending. Usually, when picking your dialogue option, you'll have 3 choices, each of which is associated with karma for one of the routes: moral, harmony, and wrathful. Depending on the path, Takuma's partner Agumon will evolve into vaccine, data, or virus types. This choice may also lead to the death of your allies, and losing some of them is inevitable during the first playthrough of this grim tale. One aspect the player has to know before going into the game is that it features more story than strategic combat gameplay. Once battles are available, players are free to do more of them if they so desire, but like with the Utawareru Mono series, this is a visual novel first and an SRPG second. As such, expect lengthy dialogue scenes and a slow build-up as the kids try to understand the dangers they're facing. Not only is it more on the visual novel side, as previously revealed by the developers, but Digimon Survive is a thriller with a Japanese ambiance, so there's no way it wouldn't have slow pacing. However, the story has a lot of redundancy, so it drags considerably. Advancing the plot can mean having to do some small talk and seeing the same kinds of conversations over and over. The result is that the story feels a little padded at times, even when taking into account the slow nature of the tale. There's also a notable amount of typos and translation issues in the English version, making it feel slightly rushed and unpolished. It's a shame, because these issues hinder the narrative at times. Nonetheless, Digimon Survive still expertly handles the slight horror atmosphere and the dread of its heavy atmosphere. It's a story with a lot of heart, a charismatic ensemble of characters, and gripping mysteries. The visual novel adventure side also offers map exploration, as players can pick their next area from the menu. Each place can feature interactive characters and scenery objects with an in-game phone system to reveal hidden items, texts, and enemies. While the scenery is beautiful, the reuse of backgrounds can be staggering, with some confusing and padded areas like the park castle and the underwater tunnel. While visual novel portions are the most frequent part of the game's main story, players can also engage in free battles anytime after unlocking the feature. As such, players can spend some time in it to explore the tactical options that they have and evolve their characters, or try to avoid battles as much as possible to face a challenge when they show up. The difficulty options and New Game Plus stages can also help make this an experience for every sort of player who isn't afraid of the time-consuming text. Combat features a grid-based tactical system in which players can control multiple creatures to face the enemies. Besides Takuma's Agumon, the group has 8 partners to rely on in battle, each of which has an elemental affinity and virus, data, vaccine typing to consider. Positioning is also important, as being behind the enemy or at their side will increase damage, and height may increase accuracy but impede the reach of some attacks. Besides movement and attacks, players should pay attention to the evolution and talk commands. Evolution here follows a similar concept to the original Digimon Adventure anime series. Digimon Survive's partners can transform in the middle of a battle. Evolution will affect their strength, attributes, and skills, but they consume SP every turn to maintain their new form. The creatures will return to being rookies, the first form in Survive's evolutionary tree, at the end of the battle, or when there's no more SP. Items and other mechanics, such as the assist system, can also restore those points. Meanwhile, the talk system brings forth 2 different mechanics. Using it on allies allows the human partner of the current character to boost another creature with a pep talk. Talking with enemies initiates a negotiation in the vein of the Shin Megami Tensei series, but with fixed answers based on personality, meaning there's no risk of RNG altering the correct choice to get your new ally or some items. These other allies follow a different logic, not having access to in-battle evolution or the talk menu. However, you can use special items to evolve them in the main menu, keeping them in their best form from the start and no SP cost. Besides how helpful they can be in exploiting enemies' weaknesses, they can also cover the team's weaknesses due to a character's death, which also removes their partner. Despite the development complications along the way, Digimon Survive offers a final product that fulfills the original promise from its development team. With a tragic tone, it brings a new frame for the Digimon universe, as a thriller visual novel with an enjoyable multi-layer SRPG combat system. It's become one of my favorite pieces of Digimon media, and it was well worth the wait. Noisy Pixel is giving Digimon Survive an 8.5 out of 10. Thanks for watching. Please be sure to check out the full review at noisypixel.net. Noisy Pixel is run by a group of gamers who work hard to deliver news, reviews, previews, and more. Please subscribe to keep up with all our future content.
Noisy Pixel.